Good morning, and thanks for making ekaboom TV part of your morning routine.
I'm Ruben, and this is Joan Romero, and today we're going to talk about raising your prices.
All right, so let's get down to business. When do you raise prices? Why do you raise prices? How would you raise your prices? Let's start from the beginning.
How is actually the hardest question there.
Okay.
When and why are actually much easier. The often a business as they grow, especially a service-based business, will start to realize that they have to raise their prices, especially if they start out working for themselves. They're the only one. Eventually, they realize that, oh, I can't actually pay anyone else to do the work that I do at the price that I do and still stay in business, with other expenses, gas, and, whatever other kind of expenses you might have. Mm-hmm. So you begin to realize that, oh, okay, I have to raise my prices if I want to stay in business so I can hire people and so I can grow and so I can meet up with the demand. Or, even if you're not hiring someone, you realize you have to start raising your prices because you just get so much work that, raising your prices is your way of
balancing supply and demand.
Yeah, balancing their supply and demand, because there's only so much of you. If the demand is high, you may need to raise your prices for that. Another time you may need to raise your prices is when, maybe a case-to-case basis. Sometimes when you're dealing with a particular client that is a little bit more challenging, like they demand more from you. Sometimes you have to raise your prices just because, in order to service that client, in order to meet their needs, you have to raise your prices to meet that demand and meet that need of that individual client. So those are some signs of when, and I guess why you might want to raise your prices. It's actually a good idea, maybe even before some of that happens, to go through, look at your business, try to calculate exactly what it would take for you to hire someone, hire the right person, because it's not just about hiring someone. You can't just say, oh, well, I'm going to hire someone, minimum wage is $8, I'll be able to spend $8 an hour to hire someone. You have to hire someone that is going to be dependable, that's going to have the expertise that you need, that's going to be able to do the work in the way that you want it done. There may be, you have to calculate in hiring the right person, not just hiring somebody. And you may preemptively say, okay, in order for me to expand, in order for me to grow, I'm going to have my prices at this. And it may be a good idea to do that before you end up in the spot where you're like, oh, stink, I'm falling behind. I can't service all my clients. They're all getting mad at me. Before all of that stuff happens, you want to make sure that your prices are at the right level.
So now, when do you compare prices to the competition? Like, do you just match other people's prices? Are you offering things that are completely different, so you got to create it yourself? I mean, does that come into play here, or is that a separate?
Yeah, you
issue?
can compare to the competition, but I wouldn't ever try to match the competition. Getting into a pricing war with your competition is a lose-lose battle. Because you'll lower your prices and do it for less than you should. They'll lower their prices and do it for less than they should. And eventually one of you will probably go out of business and the other one will raise their prices back up. Really the better idea, instead of trying to match your competitors' prices, is to try to market your company better. So if you can market, you can get out there, you can position yourself so that, hey, you know what, we're maybe not the most expensive, we're not the cheapest, but we're the most dependable, we're the most reliable, we can get the job done, we can get a job done effectively. So all of those things.
So you can charge more, but you put the money into the marketing.
charge more. You want to put money into market. I mean, really, all businesses should put money into market. That's another topic, but
Okay.
you should definitely put some of that money into marketing. Even if you don't raise your prices, you should be putting money into marketing to get your name out there. And also, in today's internet age, you're only as good as you are today. You may not be as good as you were tomorrow. You may not be as good as you are, in the future. Little things can totally change your business. One bad review online that pops up in the search engines, could mean thousands and tens of thousands of dollars of business. So it's really important that you're on top of those things, that you're putting money into marketing, that you're monitoring those kinds of things.
Right.
Critical, critical in this day and age, because just one person that is upset, it may even be totally their fault, and it doesn't really matter. They can cost you tens of thousands of dollars, because anyone can post anything they want about you online.
Okay, so how do you raise your prices?
So how do you raise your prices? That is a good question. The easiest way to raise your prices is just when you have new clients. As through attrition, the old clients move out, the new clients move in. As the new clients move in, you just let them know these are our prices, and then they say okay, and they either buy or they don't. That's the easiest way. The much harder, much more challenging way is to actually go to your clients and say, hey, just so you know, we're going to raise our prices. And if you are going to do that, you just need to give people a heads up. You're going to lose clients that way. So you want to make sure you're okay and you're in a position that you can lose those clients. Chances are those clients are going to be, the ones that pay less are going to be your most challenging clients. I had a really, really challenging client at one point. Called me every day. Really was not paying a lot. And actually I had built a website for him. So I built the website. That was done. And he's calling me. He's asking for updates. He's asking for this and that months after we had completed the website. And I'm a nice person, so I make a few changes here, make a few changes. Eventually got to the point where I'm like, look, if you want me to stay on board, I'm gonna have to charge you a retainer so that I can do this. And he said, okay, yeah, that's okay. I gave him a price, and he said, okay, well, we'll do that. And the crazy thing about that situation was that after I had set him on that retainer, he started calling less. He started being less demanding. He started, it's funny because it seems like the clients that you charge more to generally are the clients that give you are the least hassle, are the easiest clients to deal with. And I don't know what it is, but
Yeah, there's some psychology there. That's interesting.
and maybe and the funny thing is at one point I thought, well, maybe that's just like, hey, that's just the way it is, because those are different types of clients, they have a different mentality. But I've seen it from the same person raise the prices on them, and all of a sudden they become a much easier client to work with and deal with when you start charging them more. So keep that in mind as you're looking to raise your prices. If you're going crazy, if you're pulling your hair out because you're just overwhelmed with things, you may need to raise your prices. And people are going to quit, people are going to drop off, and that may be okay. You're opening the door for bigger and better and often easier clients. That's not always the case. Sometimes higher paying clients can be very demanding, but in general, I find them less demanding. And maybe it's just all in my mind. In my mind, I feel less imposed upon when I know I'm being paid what I should be being paid, as opposed to when I'm being paid what I probably should not be being paid.
I think my suggestion would be, if you're going to raise your prices on your current clients, a 3 months heads up would be nice. Then if they need to adjust their budgets, if they need to shop around, if you need to get some salespeople involved because you have to resell them, your current clients, on the new package, Also renaming packages. Now it's not our, I don't know, sassy package. Now it's the super
Yeah.
star package.
Let them know that we're discontinuing.
This is being discontinued. Here's the changes that we're making. Here's why we're changing or making those changes. And sometimes it's just wording and repackaging and helping them understand the value that they're getting. You have to resell them and say, this is why this is so awesome and why you want to pay more.
Yeah.
Then I think that helps with the transition quite a bit.
Yeah, and reselling is really a part of what you do anyway. When you have a business, especially one that people are paying you over and over again, you have to resell it anyway. So
that's good practice to be in.
It is.
Yeah.
It is absolutely.
All right, so raising prices, sometimes it's a necessity. You got to do it.
Yeah, most of the time it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's a good thing. Again, you may lose you probably will lose clients from it, but you position yourself to grow much bigger, better, faster, easier in the long run.
All right, so good luck. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for subscribing, liking, commenting, and have a great day.
I'll talk to you later. Bye.